of grave risks. Their passion is to evangelize their own people.
As a new world unfolded, it was clear that gospel poverty was growing. In 1964, while visiting the Middle East, John Edmund Haggai saw that traditional missions could not cope with the growing demands. During that same time, the Vietnam War escalated as 3,500 U.S. Marines were dispatched to fight a ground war. And just 1 year later, in China, Mao Zedong launched the Cultural Revolution. It was obvious. The world was changing. One man who brought about such change was Martin Luther King Jr., who was tragically assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. In 1969, the first man walked on the moon, and the first gathering of what would become the Haggai Leader Experience took place in Switzerland, with 19 leaders from 4 nations. Within 2 years, Haggai's first dedicated training center opened in Singapore. Back in the U.S., a burglary in Washington, D.C. triggered what became known as the Watergate scandal.
I let the American people down.
Facing huge demand, Haggai pressed forward with their mission and introduced the first national seminars, starting in Thailand and Iran. Change continued when 2 guys by the name of Steve started a company called Apple that would forever alter how we listen to music, make phone calls, and yeah, they make computers too.
Hello, I am Macintosh.
As the world progressed, Haggai recognized women in leadership with the first Haggai Women's Leader Experience. And while Haggai was moving forward in advancing the gospel, Ayatollah Khomeini returned from exile to start the Iranian Revolution. With Islamic extremism on the rise, Haggai did not sit back and watch gospel poverty grow, but instead started high-security seminars in the heart of the Middle East. Tension rose when Mehmet Ali Aka, a Turkish gunman, attempted to assassinate Pope John Paul II. With an ambition to see nations redeemed, a cultural exchange enriched Haggai's long relationship with the People's Republic of China. And finally, after 28 years, the fall of the Berlin Wall marked the end of the Cold War. In 1993, with a vision to expand operations, Haggai established the world-class Mid-Pacific Center in Maui. Months later, Nelson Mandela became South Africa's first black president. As the world continued to change, Haggai remained determined to tell the world of Jesus, reaching the goal of training 10,000 by 2000. We all remember where we were on September 11, 2001, in that moment when Al-Qaeda terrorists flew commercial airliners into the Twin Towers. And 7 years later, global stock markets came crashing down as the financial crisis hit rock bottom. Undaunted and with a faith-driven motivation, Haggai leaders held the first Asia Alumni Summit. God was indeed moving through these incredible leaders, and surveys revealed that Haggai Leader Experience was boosting the number of times that leaders shared the gospel by 130%. As the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 hit the world, we innovatively launched the virtual Haggai Leader Experience in addition to our traditional equipping in an effort to multiply more leaders in more places at a faster rate than ever. Today, 2.2 billion people have not heard the gospel. And in a year when our founder went to be with the Lord, we are more focused than ever to build on his life and his legacy. Haggai International has intentionally equipped over 123,000 leaders in 189 countries and territories. Standing on the shoulders of the spiritual giant who built this ministry, we are unwavering in our work to catalyze strategically positioned leaders who will advance the gospel. Together with you, we can end gospel poverty.